was coming in, and now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends. They can watch it go down. I got mine too. So welcome to my house. 'Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is what we prayed for, and this is God's plan. And if you ain't from here, then you won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am. To be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget.
My daddy served in the army, where he lost his right eye. He threw a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my brother, my sister and me to grow up and live happy in the land of the free. Now this nation that I love is falling under attack, and my summer bugs keep flying in from some.
All units, mount up.
Good afternoon, everybody. As y'all see, we got Liza, Ohio Prepper, and Susanna, Rhyme of the Ancients, with us. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello, Peach. Hello, Liza. And hello, chat.
Hi, chat. Hi, Stars. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Epileptic Pilot, Random Jen, Stars, everybody.
Hey, Random and Stars and Pilot. Sister Marie. I sure will, Sister Marie. I'll check it as soon as we're done. Let's see. Who else we got? Keith. How are you? Sophia. How's everybody doing today? Miss Sharon. We'll give it a few minutes and see if we get some more people in here. Just chit chat for a little bit. I actually have one scenario for both these ladies today. Hey, Fawn. Yeah, I was struggling trying to come up with scenarios, and then when we were talking earlier, it popped in my head. I was like, that's the perfect one. Hey, Yankee. Awesome.
Uh-oh. We're in for it, Liza.
Uh-oh. Do I get to eat somebody?
Do what?
Do I get to eat somebody?
That's up to you. Hey, Willow, how are you?
I hope I packed my salt and pepper. Hi, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. Add some Worcestershire sauce. Don't forget the Worcestershire. You know, it makes everything taste better. Oh, wait a minute, that's butter. But Worcestershire makes everything taste better, too. Sister Marie hit it right on the head. Expect the unexpected.
Yep.
Hey, Rescue, how are you? Glad to see you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming in.
Definitely. Y'all don't realize how much I look forward to scenario Sundays. You
Heck,
know,
I don't know what I'm doing and I'm here. But it's practice, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, everybody, please make sure y'all hit that live chat. If not, I probably will not see y'all's what y'all say.
Hi, rescue.
First talking about most scenarios, stop, drop, and roll may help. Yeah, rescue them grandbabies is well worth it.
I know. Look at Miss Sophia over there canning and everything, and she got her hands so full.
Hmm. She deserves a lot of props. She's in mom mode 24/7. She's packing for the move, and she hosts cannon. And she cans during the week. The cannon's to help her decompress, though I completely understand that. Jen's
Yeah.
cannon today as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be there yesterday, everyone. I tried. I did.
Hey,
But
life happens.
I was too busy fighting with people at the store and just doing oh my gosh, I had a crazy day yesterday.
I completely understand. I completely understand. Oh, Sophia said, no worries, love.
I love you
All
too,
right.
Sophia.
We've got 19 people in. We at 7, right at 8 minutes. Y'all ready to get started?
Let's do this.
As ready as I can be. Like she said, expect the unexpected, so I'm expecting anything.
All right. I'm going to give y'all a little hint here because I do have a little news piece here to give out. Potato Head. Hey, Elusive. Potato Head will be going to, I think it's Switzerland this week, to a NATO meeting. During times like what's going on over in Ukraine and with Russia, presidents usually do not fly overseas. So, from my understanding, it must be something that they need his actual signature for. So, I don't like potato, but I don't want nothing to happen either, if you know what I mean. Just putting that out there.
Right. And it could be the other way too. It could be that they need it for something that they want to do that that we don't know about.
Right.
That's not good.
Right, random. They're going to war, Keith said. I believe so, Keith. I really do. But I've heard rumors, and like I said, it's rumors, so take it with a grain of salt that it might be that they're fixing to install Poland. I think it was Poland into NATO. And Poland's right there in amongst all that mess. It doesn't make sense. Stars are right. But alright, ladies, I'm going to give y'all one scenario. And I'm going to let y'all each take a turn, with your answers. Telling us what y'all would do. And the scenario is kind of loosely based off the news article. Well, not news article, but the news I just gave y'all.
Okay.
Alright. and we're going to use potato. And let me put this disclaimer out right now. No one was harmed in the making of this live. And it's purely for entertainment purposes, and I put quotation around the word entertainment. And this is not fear porn. This is not to scare anybody. It is to purely what if. Because we all know last Sunday we had somebody come in and had something smart to say about it. All I ask is if you do not like what's being said, just kindly walk back out the door. There won't be no hard feelings. That's all I ask. Alright. You're sitting at home. You're watching the news, or you're watching YouTube, whichever. Wherever you get your news from. And you know that the president has went overseas to this meeting. On the way, after whatever's done, he's coming back home. His plane goes missing. Of course, you have procedures for that. Plane technically, with the way that it's supposed to be done, if the president is overseas, the vice president is acting president while, the president's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding anyway. Maybe I watch too much TV. But anyway, alright, so plane goes missing, that means Camel Toe's in charge. We'll use it for the scenario. Alright. 2 weeks goes by, no word of the airplane, no word of the president. Camel Toe gets sworn in. But now, in your towns, you get to noticing that there's gray helmets. Y'all know what gray helmets are, right? Blue, whichever color it is. It's NATO.
Yeah, because I don't know that everybody knows.
Right. You get to noticing that they are in your town. They're throughout your community. You know what NATO boots on the ground means. What is the first thing you're going to do, Susanna? Hey, Mad Shad and Bug Dude, I seen y'all come in.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is take a few breaths, because anything could be happening. The president could be dead. He could be alive, and they could be holding him somewhere, and this could be their plan all along. So if they're already on the ground, I'm taking whatever backpack that I have ready with me, and a few other things. Of course, I'm going to take my pew-pew. I'm going to take my bows, because I know how to shoot those very well. My son and my daughter are here all the time. My daughter works very close, so it depends on if she's at work or at home. And if she's at work, she already knows she's coming straight home as well. Yeah, there's a lot to think about, but I'm pretty sure my first call will be a call to my daughter and my son and my even though he's just in the other room. And my husband as well. I'll probably be talking to them all at the same time.
Yeah.
And if we can't talk because things went down, well, then we also all know what to do. This is our meeting place here because, especially right now, we're in the middle of moving and stuff ourselves, and so we stay at the city home, and it's just packed with almost everything and anything we need anyway. This is where most of our stuff is right now, so we're taking what we can when we can, if we can, depending on how it works out. But if I'm by myself, I probably most probably will not be by myself. At least my son will be with me because he's the one that helps me all the time. He's always here. So it'll be both of us against whatever's coming.
Right.
But we still have our houses in the mountains, so if we need to go there, that's where we're headed as well.
Right. Get away from any population centers as best as you can.
Exactly.
Hey, staying high and Candle, how are y'all both doing? We'll get to that, pilot. I promise. All right, Liza, what's the first thing you would do?
Okay, the first thing I think I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my communications, whether it be ham radio, CB radio, and find out, is it isolated to just my town, or is this something that's going on nationwide? If I find out it's a nationwide thing, I think I'm gonna grab my paper maps, my bug out bag, my armor, my weapons. I'm gonna take off, going the back roads to my bug out location because I don't want to be stopped on the interstates because I think that's going to be like a high traffic area of other people trying to escape. If I find out like it's just isolated to my town, I think maybe I might stay where I'm at. I'm not directly in the city. I'm kind of out in the suburbs a little bit, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye onto what their activity is. Are they going around like rounding up people, or are they just going around like, maybe looking for bad people? I'm trying to choose my words right.
Right.
But yeah, I think if it's just my town, I'm just going to kind of sit back and observe what's going on, but I am going to be ready to get out at a moment's notice.
Very good. Very good. Chat is off the chain. I love it.
See chat today.
Hey, Cowboy, how are you? But okay. The troops are on the ground in your areas, but they are also nationwide. We all know that, them being brought in would not be in our best interest. They have locked down the country. Checkpoints are everywhere. They are going house to house to get the pew-pews. Martial law has been declared by Camel Toe. Camel Toe is in bed with the troops. You have all your weapons at your home. What is your defense against this, Liza?
They're coming around. They're collecting all the weapons. I think I am going to have a couple of weapons that I wouldn't mind parting with. A couple of throwaways, and then I'll have my other weapons for backup. If they come in with, canines who are able to locate those weapons, one, I'm never going to have everything at one place.
Right.
So I will have a way to get another weapon somewhere. Like I said, once again, it's a sit back and kind of observe what's going on.
Definitely.
I won't be caught with my hand in a cookie jar. That's why we all prep and plan. That's why we do these kind of scenarios, drills, to know what to do.
So in mine, I've already gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm communicating well, I'm gone. If I can. If not, and they shut it down, it depends on what's there and what we have. And so if I'm already gone, I'm already heading to the mountains. Where our house is, it's high up on the mountain. There's actually, a lot of people don't know this, but there's actually a sheriff that lives right on the little road where our house is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably be like Liza, of course. I've had, like I said, I have all my stuff with me that I need. I have a lot of light stuff too. So, it may seem like it's heavy, but it's not. When you practice for this stuff, you know what you can carry and what you can't. And of course, a lot of my other stuff, if they're going to take it, they're going to take it. It's already been left back at the apartment.
Right.
So I got what I need with me. I do have one of those, those crank radios. We all have them in our backpacks.
Right.
And then the ham radio. And so I'll be listening somehow. What's going on. If that's happening, like I said, it depends. It depends on when that scenario starts happening. Because if I'm already, out there and I'm listening to it at the same time, I'm obviously not going to go back to the apartment.
Right.
I'm going to try my best to get to the cabin up in the mountains.
Yep. Sophia, tell Chris we said hey. I know he's busy. But yeah, both y'all are doing excellent. Y'all are doing excellent. Okay, you are a month into the troops being on the ground. Y'all have both, backed out of your present living situation into your backup, into your bug out locations. Of course, we know the troops will start in the metropolitan areas and they will spread outward. At least that would be my presumption anyway. Martial law has been declared. The police units here, has been ordered to help the troops. I'm trying to go roundabout that way, we don't get in trouble. Of course, Well, I know with like here in my area, all your cops know the locations of each houses. They have maps to where each house is, and everything like that, even if they're off grid. How are you going to protect yourself from being found? Susanna, go.
Well, of course, that's going to be pretty hard. We have where the house is in the cabin. We'll probably be listening to that and watching that. Where we live on a top of. It's not all dirt. This is why I don't have such a big garden up there. We live on a big slab on the edge of the mountain on limestone. And so this is why this is going to be so totally different for me, because that's where we'll be. We have bears, mountain lions, deer, all that stuff. And, I do carry bear spray and stuff like that with me as well. That's actually going to be a tough one from where we would be at.
All right.
Because we live so high up on the mountain, and trying to get anywhere back down if you're already up there. There are about 5 different ways to get back down. Because the roads up there do lead to different places. So I would probably go try and get to a place where I don't know. I'd be in a hole somewhere. We don't have but you would think we might, but we don't have a bunker or anything like that up there. We do, though, have a lot of basements and cellars and stuff here, and I do have one of those. So if I'm not trying to get to a different spot, I'll hide in the cellar. Most people don't even know it's there when they come over. They pass it up. They don't even realize it's there. So if I can get whoever's with me there in there, that's probably the first place I'll be if I'm not, for some reason or other, have to leave the house and go a different direction than usual, and go where there's more even though there is water here, more water, more dirt, where it's a little more out of the way for them.
Right.
Until I can hear what else is going on. Because, it's still my communications will still be limited that high up in the mountains.
Hey, I hope everything's okay. I'm not worried about you being late. I'm worried you had a medical emergency. I hope everything's okay. I'll keep you in my thoughts and my prayers.
And like I said, limestone that we have there, it's part of it. So we'll see how well we're kept hidden at all.
Is there any caves or anything like that in the area?
There are caves, but they're not as accessible. You would have to literally be very athletic and a spelunker. Somebody who does go into caves and knows how to get up and I don't do a whole lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it before, but it is very, very hard if you haven't done a lot of that, and I have not, and I know that. But there are caves because where we live on the ledge, we do get like I was saying, mountain lions and bears and stuff. So they can go with ease because um, they
They're
can.
built for it.
Yeah, they do it all the time, and because we get them in our yard.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do it all the time, and so that's a big that would be the biggest concern, and one of the biggest reasons why I probably would avoid that where I am and just stay and go into the cellar and take my chances there.
Right. Liza?
Okay. Depending on the time of year, if it's warm out, like I said, I'm gonna follow streams, somewhere that would lead to a bigger river. That way I know I have at least the ability to fish and eat, whether that be a river or a quarry, um, that type of area. But I'm going to go into densely populated wood area. That way my overhead is kind of covered.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as like the police helping, you said the police were like on board. I can't speak for everybody, but I know the majority of police officers that I personally know they're on our side.
Right.
So, worst case scenario, they find me. I'm going to try to talk my way out of it. I'm going to play on that. I'm a grandmother. I'm a mother. What would they do if this was happening to their family? Type of scenario to play on their emotions to maybe get that sympathy to get away. Yeah.
Right. And that's a smart thing to do because, in the end, we're all human beings.
Yes, we are. Everybody
And
somebody
go
they
ahead.
love. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has somebody they love, and they would go to the pits of hell for that person.
Right.
Play on those. Play on those emotions.
That's right. Use every dirty antic you can to get yourself to where you need to be.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because,
This is why this is why this is why I'm at my cabin, because the sheriff lives here.
right. All right. I had a brain fart. Y'all give me a second. I went squirrel. All right. How are you going to? Of course, you most likely used a vehicle to get your backup spot. How are you going to conceal that vehicle from the air, from stuff like that? Liza, go.
Like I told you yesterday, we ordered engines to put on our bicycles. So
Mm,
if that would be the type of vehicle that I would use, I wouldn't use a car. I'm gonna get me my mountain bike with my little gas powered engine on it. I'm going to put the kids' trailer on the back to put my stuff on. I'm going to book it. I'm going to have these, off-road tires on this bike. And I'm just going to, like find a pile of leaves, lay it down, cover it up in leaves, camouflage it.
Very good. Very good. Susanna?
I would have to literally cut. There would be no way where I am that we could hide vehicles unless we drove them a certain ways and then went back up or went back the other way somewhere. If I did that, I would literally have to cut huge things of trees down to hide the cars, because we don't have those big leaves. We do have pine, leaves and things like that. There are some, and it depends on what time of the year as well, because if the leaves are missing, I can't do that.
Right.
We would have to drive them a certain way and then hike, either way, either back up to the cabin or back the opposite way, somewhere. And to go any of those ways from there would be, we're still taking our chances of getting caught anywhere, even though we're up into the mountains, into more mountains, and then up a high mountain. so we're up there pretty high. I think I would try and take my chances going back up the mountain to where the house is. If I have to go down if I have to go down fighting, defending, where I live, then that's what I'm doing. Because I already know, especially where I live in Colorado, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a huge mess in the city.
Right. Especially you living so close to Cheyenne Mountain.
Actually, I don't live that close to Cheyenne Mountain. I mean, I do live close, but not that close. I live in the state. And
right.
if it depends on the traffic, how far Cheyenne Mountain is.
Right.
And my husband makes that trip every single day, multiple times a day, from where he works down into the Springs. So he knows everything about that. He knows the back roads that they use. He knows that area like the back of his hand.
Right.
So yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, they would have to hit in. There's a lot of mountain here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mountain, and so anyone from Colorado knows, especially if you're in the city, west is where the mountains is. That's the direction. That's the direction we use. Oh, go west toward the mountains. Go east toward the plains.
Right. Hey, Jeep, I'm glad to see you. I ain't seen you in a while. I-25 from Pueblo to Aurora is going to be effed.
Oh, gee, I don't even want to think about it. He knows he lived here. Yeah, he knows.
But alright, I'm fixing to throw a whole new thing at y'all. Y'all have to understand how my mind works. I'll be sitting here, I'll give y'all one scenario, and I'll think of something else to add into it. It's how a writer's mind works. I can't explain it. Alright. You've got all this going on. All of a sudden, an EMP goes off, taking out all communications and everything. But right before this EMP hits, you're listening to your comms. You hear that the original president has been found alive and well. He has returned to the States. The Vice President, Camilto, is of course fighting against him being let back into power. And they're saying that the U.S. is headed for civil war. And then boom, the EMP hits. What is your thoughts? What are you thinking? How are you going to prepare for this? Susanna, it's your go, I think.
Well, since I'm taking my chances at home, because at the end of our driveway, there's a sheriff. There's two houses one on either side, and we all get along. We all know each other very well. I'm pretty sure we're all gonna be communicating. So, and we're pretty much gonna be cut off from everybody else, like you said. And we'll be deciding exactly what to do. We have all talked about this before. I know we're selling our home and everything, but in case we were still there and we haven't sold it yet. So since we're still there, I'm wondering through my mind too, if they do go to my place, what are they going to think? Because a lot of our stuff is gone now.
Right.
We drove our vehicles a certain amount of ways and came back up.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll probably be talking about what to do from there. And if that were to happen, we would, in that scenario, we probably would end up, we would have to be very, very, very careful, but we probably would end up doing the, going down into the cave thing, which will be pretty risky, but we do know how to get rid of the animals if we need to get to where we need to. We just wanted to avoid that. When this was first happening. So, we'll probably be in there because they don't know how to get into these places. But we could still defend, ourselves.
Right.
Where we would be at. We could still defend ourselves if we need to. I mean, any way you look at these, you're still going to have to defend yourself in some way. And like I said, our first defense is going to be against the animals here.
Right.
And it would have to be in ways that wouldn't be too loud. We'd have to use certain measures, certain things. Since we live up here, we know how to do that, depending on what it is. I have my bow. I actually have two bows. I have a compound and a recurve. Neither of them are, I'm used to them. So neither of them are going to be a problem for me. But if I have to leave one behind, it will be the compound because I'm used to my recurve. And I know how to make more string for it if I have to, if anything breaks on that as well. And I have my pew just in case, but I'm trying to attract as little attention to myself as possible.
Right. Liza?
Okay, for me, basically nothing changes because it's the same snake, two different heads.
Right.
No matter if it's camel toe or potato, same snake. My bike is still going to work because there's no electrical circuit boards on it. I'm still going to be able to get to my location that way. The way that I've prepped to be a hermit. I don't, I know we're going to have to barter and trade with other people, but I'm going to be as self-sustainable as possible. So I am. I'm gonna go off where others aren't around me, and I'm gonna live the life of a hermit. I'm gonna fish. I'm gonna hunt. I'm gonna drop off the face of the earth.
Right. That would be the best thing to do, I believe.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to build communities now, is so we do have people to barter with that we know are trustworthy and safe. But I'm gonna, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be off in my own little section with my little family.
Right. All right. Y'all got any caveats? Ladies?
I don't.
Susanna?
Oh, yeah, I don't. I usually listen to everybody else do these. And you're always better at it when you're listening to everybody else, but when you're actually up here, it's a whole different thing. But yeah, we'll just be hiding in the limestone, under the limestone here. And like she said, there are streams and lakes right here. I mean, it's not like they aren't here. It's just that we have a lot of fish and stuff in here too. Like I said, it's just of course we're gonna leave. We're only going to we're gonna leave a lot of the wildlife alone anyway, and they'll pretty much leave us mostly alone, as we know what we're doing. But there's going to be some struggles there. We we can only take down so much from where our houses are. We're going to have to let them take whatever is there besides that, and get rid of the evidence that we're even where we are. because there are quite a few houses that are up very high up on the mountains up here. I mean, they're not like all close together like being in the city, but I'm just saying there are houses up here. Like, I think some people have seen the outside of the deck. I never showed a big panorama of where we were, but did show the lookout of the top of the mountains that you can see where you don't know where we are, but you can see that we live very, very, very high up. So,
Right.
And there's a reason. There's a reason why I even took that down.
Opposite.
Because there are people who can read, who are very familiar with a lot of areas, and we'll see that. Even though to most people it's just a bunch of mountains up at the top of a bunch of mountains that you're looking at, but yeah, well, we'll have to just go down fighting if they do end up coming into that area, but they'll also have to go down fighting the animals as well.
Yeah. Pilot, that right there is worrisome. Russia supposedly took out $400 million worth of U.S. weaponry in a Ukraine military base.
Good. Sorry, good.
Kendall said, "Nice job, ladies." Mad Shad said, their only hope is that we destroy ourselves to the point where they can come in and later and take over. It's a good point, Mad Shad. Stars asked, "Is your mind prepared to use your pew-pew?"
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. We've talked about this even before I knew anybody from this community. My son has always been on this stuff, and we've always talked about it. And that's one thing. If I have, we've seen all the even against. We know how they on their side also will use children.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have to defend ourselves and our children, even against other children, we're set for that. I mean, you can't let you have to be in a place where your mind is set for those scenarios and those things. It will be harder for some people than it will be for other people. Some people won't be able to do it no matter how much they train for it.
Right.
So
Stop. Go ahead.
Oh, so I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to come. It's on. If that happens, it's on. I'm going down fighting.
Right. Ohio, are you prepared?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was raised around guns. I learned to shoot a gun at a very young age. I learned the safety. Whenever I went for and got my CCW, the very first thing they ask you is, are you willing to shoot and kill somebody? That's the very first question. They say, if you're not, this isn't the course for you. We have a safety course if you just want to learn to shoot a gun. But if you are willing to shoot, you have to be willing to shoot to kill
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to pull a gun. No
Right.
hesitation. Hesitation means death.
Stars asked, "What if 15 people show up at your spots in need of help?"
Sorry.
They're
Right.
not gonna show. They're gonna die. We'll lead the lions and the bears to where they are because we know how to do it. They're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Hey,
Good
Millicent.
luck, Chuck. They better know what they're doing.
I feel
Pilot.
like in today's day and age, if people's eyes aren't open enough to see that we're doing the right things by preparing for us and our immediate families, don't come to me afterwards.
Yep,
It's
I
too
agree.
late at that point.
Right. Pilot said it's a hard scenario to imagine and plan for because it would just be all out chaos. I agree. That's kind of what I designed this. These lives for is to plan for the unplannable because we honestly don't know what could happen. Mad Shad said, "What if a platoon of helmet deserters show up half starved and injured?"
Well, they can kill a lion themselves and eat it, or a bear. There's lots of deer up here. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up eating that. There's
Yep.
there's moose, there's deer, there's elk.
There's
We have
grubs.
goats.
There's
I'm
grubs.
pretty
There's
sure they're
worms.
yeah.
Right. Militant said, "We plan on putting up manned roadblocks on our road." That's a very good idea, Militant. Damn, Russia used another hypersonic missile. They getting a little too trigger happy with those, I'm afraid. It was where they were bringing in foreign mercenaries too, and reports that hundreds of them are dead and badly burned and being evacuated to Poland. He's talking about that military base that got hit with our weapons.
You got to wonder
Russia,
how much of that's factual and how much of that's just propaganda, too, though.
right. Russia was also threatening to nuke a certain test site in Nevada. IMO, they know where a certain important place is and what's there. I'm trying to think. Ain't that where Area 51 is? Or is that Mexico?
Area 51 is in New Mexico, or not New Mexico. Oh my gosh, Nevada.
That's what I was thinking. That, mm, my mom was real big into the whole space alien stuff.
Hmm.
Me, not so much. I mean, I'm one of those, if they out there, okay. If they're not, that's okay too. I've seen some things that'll make you wonder, but let's
I've seen
see.
some crazy things myself.
Right. Militant Roots said, "We're not going to be in the business of helping people in shift, unfortunately."
Yep.
That's true. With the fake news everywhere, though, who knows what's real and what's story time?
Exactly.
I agree. Well, Russia's doing a nuke evaluation now. That's just. I'm gonna tell y'all. The other night, I had a dream, and someone and I were standing in a field, and we were talking and whatnot, and as we were standing there, we felt the ground start to shake, and we looked up and looked to our west, and all you could see for miles was missiles being lifted off into the air. And ever since that night, my spirit has been severely disturbed. because for years, which that dream led into a dream that I've had. It's an ongoing dream that I've had since I was about 10 years old. I'm standing in a trailer looking out the kitchen window. I'm standing there washing dishes or doing something at the sink. And that window looks out over a field. I know where this field is. I used to live in this trailer. I don't have the trailer no more. But anyway, as I'm looking out that window, all I see is red. It's like the whole world's on fire. And that dream that I just told y'all about led back into this dream. So I think we're given dreams for a reason. I just haven't figured out the reason.
I think there are different reasons.
Mhm.
But I can tell you that you know how I have said that in the 5th grade we did that that where we had to do a report when the movie The Day After came out. Remember, it was about nuclear war.
Yeah.
And our reports were supposed to be, we were supposed to watch it, and we were supposed to our reports were on whether, because at the time they were talking about the cyanide pill, and they were like, well, would you take it or would you refuse it if you were in a scenario like that where you were nuclear war hit, and would you want to live through that? Would you not? So we did do those reports, and it didn't bother me so much, I think, because I've always had dreams. I would have these repeated dreams, and there are 3 of them specifically that that were repeated dreams for a very long time, even before I had done any of that, before I knew what any of a lot of these things were. One of them, and I'll tell you really quick, one of them was where I'm just up above the earth, and I see, I don't know whether it was a comet or asteroid, but it's there. And somebody, like, I hear someone saying, will it pass by or will it hit? And I'm just looking at it, not thinking really a whole lot of anything, because I started having these dreams super young, and but they're repeated dreams, like throughout the years, and some of them I have repeated at a certain time of the year every year. And then the next dream, I'm at my grandmother's house. By the way, they still have that house. My uncle and my aunt still own a few of my grandmother's houses, and this house that I grew up in, they were there in the house, and I see a bright light, and we go inside and we start sealing everything off. I mean, these are dreams that like I said, happened super young, before I knew what any of this was. We start sealing everything off, and we don't come out for 3 months, 3 years, something like that. But it had the number 3 in it. And when we did come out, what's really freaking funny is I end up somehow walking, like it just barely missed us, like the blasts where it just destroyed. a bunch of homes, everything, and it was going towards, guess where? Towards Cheyenne Mountain. And it destroyed a lot of things, but it did not destroy going into the mountain. And I make it there, and it's weird because outside there were fenced in, there were people like inside these, like they had them locked up in these fences. And I'm going inside the mountain, I'm walking in there, and I'm thinking, why are they letting me walk in here? And I even asked, there's like a scientist in there as well, and he's in the mountain, and he's like, I even asked him, why am I here? And he's just, and I see him doing like these experiments on people, animals and things, and I'm just kind of looking while I'm talking to him at these things, and he's like, because you're not one of the you're one of the ones we need. And I just like, oh, okay. And I have no idea what I don't think I'm thinking anything. I'm just like, oh, okay. And I keep walking like all the way into the mountain, and there's a way out because I end up coming out somewhere out of the mountain, on another side that, and it was pretty crazy. It was just crazy that I even have those dreams like way before I knew what a nuclear war was, anything. I didn't even know what comets or asteroids were. And then the last one had to do with, and this was a super cheesy dream that I had, but it's crazy because I don't know what they were, and I remember thinking in my head, I thought aliens weren't real, but there's something there. Is it real? Is it not real? And there were these like ships in the sky, and all of a sudden I felt this pang of terror, and I start running, and I tell everybody, run. We were in a football field, and I'm telling everybody, run, and we go and hide. This stupid song starts playing in my head that I never ever heard anywhere before. But it starts playing in my head, and the words, I'm listening to the words, and it takes my brother-in-law and his wife, and we're all safe, and we're just watching it take him. And while this stupid song is still playing in my head, and this song, the words to it, in this, I'll just say that some of the words in that song have to do with going after human meat. And so, yeah, this is like, these are the 3 most repeated dreams that I've had. And it's really crazy that you know, and I met my husband very young. So, you know, and this dream I've had since after we had been together about 3 years. So that's another repeated dream, and I that's one I can't figure out.
Right. Star said, what do you do if a child that couldn't get to you says, come get me first? What would you do before heading to the spot?
If that happened to me, it wouldn't be my son, obviously, because he takes care of me. He's here 24/7. It would be my daughter. And if that were to happen, I'd be, you know what, baby girl, you're going to have to make it. You're going to have to go with your, you know, because I'm pretty sure she'd be with her boyfriend. And I'd be like, you're going to have to make it. She can drive, she can walk, you know, she's healthy. She's going to have to make it somehow.
Right. Liza?
I gotta kind of agree with Susanna. I have 3 kids, 3 adult kids that live in Florida. There's no way I could get to them first.
Right.
We have safety measures in place. You know, I have other relatives in Florida. They know where to go, but there's no way that I can come get them. Now, eventually, as a mama and a mama bear, I'm going to make my way down there eventually. But
Mm-hmm.
with communications and stuff shut off, I can't put my children that are here, my grandkids here, in jeopardy trying to get to a place that I don't know if they're even still around.
Right.
You know, I mean, that may sound like a, you know, like I don't care, but they, like I said, they are adult children.
Mm-hmm. Mad Shed said, what if a group of patriots approaches to join you or provide supplies? Liza?
I don't. How am I going to know they're patriots?
Right.
If they want to provide me with supplies, leave them there and go on your merry way. You're not joining me in my group.
Susanna?
Again, it's going to depend on where I am, and most likely I'm going to be here in the mountains. So I guess it depends on where I am. If like she said, how do we know who they really are? There's they can easily find food here. It's not very hard.
Right. Keith said plenty of reasons for dreams.
Exactly. I've been following my dreams for a very long time. Since I was a teenager, I started keeping journals of my dreams. I know what certain dream means, and there are a few. There are very few, but there are a few that I can't. I don't know why they're there. Like that last one I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Keith said when Potato had his call with Xi Jinping, we were pulling troops from Taiwan. Damn. That's right, staying high. A lot of meteorites have been hitting Earth lately. Susanna has top security clearance, chat. Don't let her fool you.
Well, I do have Bug Dude tied up in Cheyenne Mountain. I did have him there for a while eating churros. Don't worry, I fed him, you all. He ate churros and tacos when he was good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Random. I'll be here. If I see AKA aliens, I'm playing Patsy Cline on full volume. Alright, Yankee, be safe out there. Play Patsy loud and let them. I'm convinced all the sci-fi movies were teaching us how to defeat the alien invasion. Star said, in case you leave before they get to you, you can write on the main wall of your house with marker where you went, what time you left, leave a map of sorts. Tell them you will do that.
Make sure if you're doing that, you're using some type of code, not just plain words like I'm down the road at Susie's house.
Right. I personally wouldn't do any of that. we would have a different type of communicate. They know where hiding places are, where if they have to dig it out of the ground, they know where it's at. Um, I'm not writing on the wall. That's just an invitation to me to even decode anything that I'm putting there. I'm not doing that. But and even if they have to dig it out, my kids or family or whoever, even if they have to dig it out, they still better know some code, because it's not going to be easy for them to decode it unless you're my daughter, my son, my husband. That's it.
Right. Pilot said, in this scenario, I think most of the law enforcement will be gone. They'll choose protecting their family.
I agree.
Yeah. Absolutely. We all know that family comes first for most people.
Right.
And I mean, even the biggest and baddest of us, wants to protect their own first before anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all have to overlook me. I'm eating crackers.
That's
Where's
okay.
mine?
Here you go, Liza. I'm handing you a pack through the screen.
Cool.
Here you
And
go, Susanna. Here's yours.
I have cheese, so I guess I'll put some cheese on it.
Alright, Keith. I'll hang right here so you can tell me what the important news is. I love Keith. He stays on top of the news.
Right. Yeah, and not everybody is going to be Rick Grimes.
Right.
Yeah, there's or anybody else, and that you see. There are crazy people who really think that that it's going to be like exactly like it is, on TV or whatever. They forget anything can happen, and like we were saying, family does come first.
Mm-hmm.
Even if there are friends that are that close that are family, because not even, we all know, even parts of family are not going to be trusted, and we know who are parts of family are parts of our family who we don't trust at all with anything. So there will be those too.
Right. Sophia said, Susanna and Liza, y'all are amazing. They truly are. I threw it at them today, and they've done excellent.
I think everybody in this chat is amazing, to be honest.
Right. And I don't know how many people realize this, but I think it was the first season of The Walking Dead, and y'all have to bear with me because I don't watch The Walking Dead, but it was actually filmed about 30 minutes away from me in a place called Vidalia, Georgia.
Did you see any zombies?
Do what?
Did you see any zombies? That would be so cool to see the zombies, like see them all made up in all their costume and everything.
Nah, I never went over there when they were filming. It's never been my cup of tea. But The Hunger Games was actually filmed here in Georgia as well. I want to say it was around Jessup somewhere. And I didn't know that until I was reading a book. I thought that was cool though. And
Yeah,
it's at the movie set's actually still up over there. And it's on private land. It was bought after they got done filming.
yeah, that's interesting, Peach. I know there are a lot of places where movies were filmed, but yeah, I don't have it so close. I know there were here as well. Even the court, even scenes here down at the courthouse in the city of Denver. You know,
Mm.
at times for certain movies and stuff, and quite a few in New Mexico. I know of. Oh yeah, it's interesting. Um, but I still want to see the zombies, Peach.
I'm like, who? Yum, Vidalia onions. Hell yeah.
Yes, I love sweet onions. Some people won't eat onions just for the fact that, I don't know, onion breath, I guess, but I don't care. I love onions.
So do I.
I do too. Only person in my house that likes them, but yeah.
There is 6 people in my house, and only 2 of those 6 do not like onions. Even the 3-year-old likes onions.
Well, I figure it like this: shit hits the fan. He better start enjoying some onions because they're pretty easy to grow.
Yeah. Star said, "Are you prepared to be completely alone? No one takes it to Spot but you."
Yep.
Yeah, if that happens, it happens. Like, there can be so many scenarios, so many things that happen. And like I was saying, even where we're going to, if we do go off of that ledge, hopefully no one gets hurt. 'Cause if somebody gets hurt, well, that's another thing we'd have to watch and take care of, and
Yeah.
It would totally suck to be alone.
and you also, I know my limitations, and I know what I can live with, what I can do, and what I can't. I also know that because I'm very, very short, and because I am having problem with one of my legs. I mean, anything can happen, and if there's a point to where I have to sacrifice myself for my husband and my children, I will do it.
Right? I was just thinking about that myself. It may very well come down to that. That we have to sacrifice ourselves for our loved ones.
Right. And so people are going to have to make that choice as well.
Thing is, my dad and I'd be fighting over who was sacrificing who.
Not me. I would sacrifice my old man.
I had
Not a
this.
second thought. Pew.
Here you go. Take this one, and Liza running the other way.
This is for not mowing the grass whenever I told you to.
Or not taking the trash out when I asked you to.
Exactly. Yeah, no problem. He gone.
Star said all about mindset. And Mad Shad said great conviction, Susanna.
yeah, I have thought about that. So I already knew, I've already thought about that. And we've talked about that. And I said, look, if any of us are holding each other down, I already know my limitations, what I can do, what I can't do. If something happens, I'm willing to, distract whoever I need to, sacrifice myself for my husband and my children. Of course, I'm not going to do that with everybody,
Right.
but for my husband and my children, I will. And you know, it'd be nice if certain people like Peach and Liza and Sophia and a few others, we were all with each other when
Right.
things like this would go down. But you know, we all lived in different places, and I think as real friends, we'll be thinking about each other and what we're doing, and at times and things, and um, hope at some point for some communication. But if things completely go down, they go down, and then we have to deal with the situations as they come. You never know what's going to happen. You have to work. You have to learn to take with you what you can, know your surrounding areas, know what you can do with or without some of those things, some of those areas as well, because they can be taken over. You have to
Mm-hmm.
know where to dig for food and water, even if it comes down to eating the grass. Like seriously, um, you know, I always joke about it, but I'm not kidding. If I if I if if I needed to feed someone, well, I think I got a little bit of rump roast going on back there. I'd be, I'd be more than willing to help out my family. Not that they actually do it, but
You'd be surprised what a person would do when faced with true hunger.
Yeah.
yeah. And some of
Keith.
us have felt that hunger, and I think some of us do also know. Um, some of us have been homeless. You know, some of us have been in those situations before. Just like I
Mm-hmm.
know that people who hear me talk about my private schooling don't realize that other people paid for me to go to school.
Right.
My mom didn't have the money to send me to those private schools. Um, I didn't get vouchers, but I did get people who had money who paid for me to go to school, and I thanked them every year.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to
Keith,
meet them and everything. But yeah, sorry.
you're good. Keith said nukes are being moved through Scotland, reported by Scotland News, and another hypersonic missile is being used, says Ukraine is buckling now. Whose nukes, Keith, or did they say? That, oh, Lord, hear nukes is on the move. That makes me want to call my daddy and say, Daddy, come get me now.
Oh, I'll be honest. If I don't prepare all that much for nukes, not because I don't think it's a possibility, like a lot of people think. I don't know if I'd want to live after a nuke. I think at that
Mhm.
point I'm like, okay, I'm ready to meet my maker.
Right. Keith said he's guessing Russia. Guys, Y'all have heard me say it before, and I'll say it again, and I'm sure I'll say it 500 more times. But I think as kids and as Americans, we have been conditioned to hate Russia to a certain extent.
Yep.
I'm not saying that Putin's right by no means, but still, I think that Putin, wouldn't blink to hit that red button. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Backwoods.
Hello, Backwoods.
Hello, Backwoods.
All right, Hoot says caveat. Susanna, if you just caught your husband in bed with another woman at your house the day before shift kicked off, would you still die for him?
Oh, he already knows he's done. He's dead, and so is she. I wouldn't have hesitated. They're both gone. And then I'm throwing their bodies out over the cliff to the lions. I don't care.
Right? that question just come completely out of left field there.
They're gone. I'm just saying.
Pilot said, what do you do with family members who don't heed your advice to prep and think you're crazy one shift?
They're gone too. Too bad. I'm sorry, but that I don't have room for. They know, or they don't know, depending on who they are, and they're on their own when it happens. If you've tried all this time to do what you can for them, even if it's I have another son, and he doesn't know anything because there's no doing anything with that one. There's nothing I can do about it. There's completely nothing I can do about it. So and he's the oldest one, and he's an adult. So they're on their own. Sorry. And like Liza said, it may seem
go
cold.
ahead.
And like Liza said, it may seem cold, but when you're in those situations, you have to think ahead of time about some of these things. And if you're a type of person that gets nervous, doesn't know what you know what, I'm the person that when stuff like this happens, I'm more level-headed than even my husband. I have to look at him and say, calm down. We have to think about what we're doing, because he gets a little crazy too. And but my son is level-headed. I know my daughter would be a little more like my husband in the way that but she would, I think, so with both of them, we would, me and my son have our hands full with both of them. So, anyone else, sorry, there's only one person, besides that, and that's one of my uncles, and he's got his choice. He can stay at his house or he can come with us. And, he's got that choice there. And he does whatever he does for himself too. He's got what he needs, and, whatever. I don't think, he's one of those people too. He's very attached to his house. So we'll see what choice he would make in that situation, if that situation would come. Other than that, no. And even then, he knows he's on his own to find his journey, whether it's with us or at his home. So.
Liza?
Um, family members that don't heed your advice. I have a brother who thinks I am just totally off my rocker because I do the things that I do. And in my eyes, there's two type of people. There's leaders and there's followers. If your eyes aren't open to the way that the world is going today, there's nothing that I'm going to do after shit hits the fan to be able to help you. You're just going to bring me down. And that's not going to happen.
Right?
They better open their eyes today.
Backwood said they are gone no matter who it is. They should have listened.
Exactly.
Susanna Bug Dude said, are you going to let him out of the mountain when all this happens?
Oh, well, look, if I found my husband in bed with somebody else and they're gone, I need somebody else, right?
Right?
I need a backup plan here, my dude.
Shoot, I wish I could find my man in bed with somebody else. I'd have dinner for months.
Pilot said, I have a speech all prepared for the family who chose not to listen, and it goes like this. You should have voted for Trump. Now piss off. You know, honestly, I have an uncle that voted for the one that's in office now, but do you know he preps? He does. Me and him, I'm talking about, we had a war of words on Facebook about Democrats and Republicans.
Oh, wow. Yep.
My family's always been red. Always.
You know, it don't matter to me if you're conservative or if you're liberal, as long as you're willing, you know, as long as you don't expect me to carry you. Because you're way too
Right.
heavy.
That's right. You know, when I first got into prepping, you know, I was terrified that my family, you know, would think I was crazy, that they'd try to put me in a mental institution, you know, and whatnot. But surprisingly, my parents and both my girls and my son-in-law are all behind me. You know, they stand with me. They do what they can do to pitch in and help. Hey, Von Eric. You know, so I got lucky in that aspect. Yeah, Nikki, how did the anniversary go, hon?
Happy anniversary, Nikki.
Ladies, I can't believe we've been on here an hour and 40 minutes. It does not feel like it.
No, it doesn't.
If you got to feed someone outside of your people you prep for, they are a liability. Absolutely backwoods. Mad said, wow, cold-blooded cannibals you ladies are, gotta eat, right?
That's right. Get that hangry going on.
Right? I'm glad to hear Nikki. She said it was awesome. Star said, who preps? We just like food. Oh.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of wildlife and stuff here, but if it came down to that, well, like I said, I'm feeding somebody some rump roast.
Right? I completely agree. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to survive. As much as I would hate to be missing a puppy, you got to do what you got to do. I don't think I could do that, though. I really don't.
I could.
Well, that's why I'm serving up my rump roast to whoever needs it.
Nothing weird about it, Susanna, but I would totally take a bite.
Who said Mad said they will can the leftovers too?
Yep, we'll be going over to Sophia's.
Right?
I have all the candy supplies set up.
Hey, TT1. How are you? Alright,
Look
Keith,
outside.
I'll check it out. Thank you very much.
He's eating his preps with his animals. Aw.
Yep.
Not me. That's
And-
why I feed my big boy pretty good right now. I look at that thigh and just, yep, deep fried.
Well, I mean, y'all have heard me talk about when I was younger, we had some chickens that, was fryer size. They call them fryers, or at least down here.
Yeah.
And my mom and her sister got out there and was teaching my cousin and I, how they used to do it back in the old days.
Mhm.
So they got out there, they wrung their necks, and here we were, feathers every damn where.
Mhm.
And those showing us, how it was done and whatnot. And I was around 10 to 12 years old at that point. And when my mama passed away when I was 22, them chicken was still in our deep freezer. Yeah.
You
Wow.
couldn't do it because they were pets?
That's how bad it disgusted me and my cousin, and Mama and Aunt Rubinell couldn't do it because, they were the ones that had to kill them.
Aw.
I don't think it bothered me because I saw it as I don't know, was used to it. Even in the city here, one of my grandmother's first houses, she had a huge lot in the city, and we still have it. And she used to have chickens and a peach tree right in front. And when I was really little, like, my uncles would grab the chickens and swing them around, put them on the stump, and boom, and chop the heads off, and the chickens would go running, and my grandma would put them in scalding water, and the feathers, take out all the feathers, and whatever the whole process is. And but my grandmother and my uncles were still doing that even when I was fairly little, up until I was about maybe 5 years old.
Right.
And I remember that.
That's like one thing that I know is an awesome prep for, like, if you have hogs and you're going to kill, your hogs and all, is it's an old timey cane syrup boiler. Instead of using it for syrup at that time, you take and put water in it and get the water really, really going. And that's part of the process of slaughtering your hogs. You can butcher them at home just like they do at the butcher shop. And they used to do that back not not long after I was born. You know, they were still doing it. My family was.
Hmm.
So, you know, one thing to look for is talk to your elders about stuff like this. You can learn a shit ton of stuff from your elders.
Oh yeah, I was one of those kids who liked to even go to my neighbors' houses and listen to
Hmm.
all the stuff they would talk about, back then. And my grandmother, like, some of my grandmother lived until she was 102 years old, and
Hmm.
it was only a couple years. Well, it's been, gee, time goes by fast. um it's only been a few years since she's been gone. And she lived through the depression, she lived through a lot of wars. you know um she talked to me about all that stuff. She used to talk to all of us, but not everybody was listening. I'm glad I was listening.
Right. And Hoot said Susanna scalded chickens stink, don't they? I always hated that smell. Yeah. Them things stink. Oh my god, they stink. Oh. And TT1 said I would have asked Grandma more questions if I'd known.
Oh yeah, I think
Yep.
even those of us who listened still have questions in the back of our minds that we still think, man, I wish I would have asked more questions.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, because there is more there, and we didn't realize. I Because of the dreams and the things that I was having, and some of these things even came true. um I there's a lot of questions I still have in my mind. There's times where even I've had quite a few premonition dreams. And
Mm.
uh I've even done it, like, with my husband and whatever. And I think some of you have heard some of those stories as well. Things, um the way that some of these things happen, and the things that go through your mind, even through the years. Even now I question myself uh on these things, because you know you you don't even always believe it yourself.
Right. Pilot said how we did pigs growing up was a 22 to the head, slit throat, and drain their blood into a stream. Yeah, people do it different ways. I mean, there's, no one set way that's right. Nikki said the stories are awesome, but who actually doing the things now?
Nikki is.
Us.
Right?
And there are some things, because I some of these stories, they would talk about, um what do you call it, school, or not school, flour sack dresses. And if they still sell flour in sacks, and I've been saving up my sacks to make some of those things, because of and I've had them for quite a while. I wash them every time we use them. It's the flour that's made here in Colorado, and it's the Bluebird brand.
Hmm.
They still sell it in sacks. They sell it in 5 and 10 pounds. Um, yeah, that's one thing. I've been so busy with my quilts these past few years that I haven't even thought about it. But I still save, even though I don't think about it. I think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that I never actually did, but I'm still saving up the sacks to make the dresses that I still haven't made yet.
Right. But alright, guys. My battery is unfortunately fixing to shit the bed. I have it plugged in the whole stream, and it's still going to die before the stream's over with,
Okay,
which
Peach.
is which is crazy. But ladies, I have enjoyed having y'all up here. Y'all both done awesome.
Thank you so
I
much
have
for
a,
having me.
of
And
course.
thank you to everyone in chat. I can't see chat today, but thank you to everyone. Thank you for your scenarios, and everything. Uh, what I did here. Um, thank you, Peach, for having me up here, and Liza for putting up with me up here, and love you all.
We love you too, Susanna. Y'all, you both know y'all are always welcome up here. Always. Anytime y'all want to come up and hang out, just, holler at me and I'll send y'all the link and whatnot. We definitely need to all get together and do another, gab session one day.
Yes.
Right.
And everybody in chat, Peach needs more people for next week, so we need to hear you guys' take on things, what you would do. We all
Exactly.
bring something different to the table.
Definitely. And I mean, I'm always looking for it. I try to keep it to 2 to 3 guests, that way everybody ain't walking all over each other and whatnot. Backwoods, I'm gonna be emailing you about that email that we exchanged the other day. We've got some things coming up. Y'all keep your eyes open. I do have another couple of videos I'm gonna put out, and we have a mini movie coming up here soon. So, but I love each and every one of y'all, and thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it greatly. Look at Liza giving us the heart. But, all right, guys, I will see y'all later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Love you.
Yes, happy birthday, TT1.
Happy birthday, TT1.
Happy birthday.
I wasn't going to say nothing about it, but you did first. But all right, guys. See y'all later.